Today we're going to compare two types of coffees, one instant and one freshly roasted beans. So this, as Nescafe Gold claims, is Colombian coffee, fruity and delicate, right, as we saw in the last video. This is freshly brewed single origin from Colombia, roasted by Red Berry Roasters. So we're going to make 2 cups of coffee, one from beans and one from instant coffee. The routine is going to be very simple. We're going to use about 220-230 mils of water, and let's see what's what. We're using about 6 grams of instant coffee. That makes a good cup. Excellent. So for our freshly ground coffee, first we're going to grind our coffee, and then I was thinking that we should make a French press, because a French press is not as strong as an espresso or a mocha pot, but you can get some good detail out of it. That is about 11 grams of coffee, and in goes the water. So this is going to sit over here, and I'm going to let it bloom. We're going to give it let's give it about 4 minutes of bloom. To get a good idea of how I'm brewing in a French press, here's a link to my video on French press. So first comes the overall experience. Clearly, this takes time. You have to dedicate at least half an hour to make your first cup of coffee before you're going to work or whatever you're going to do. You have to grind them, you have to prepare your portafilter if you're making it in an espresso machine, or if you're making a pour over coffee, you pour the coffee into the cone filter and then you pour hot water. It takes time. It's a procedure in which you have to get involved. If you have a passion for coffee, and not just for coffee, for making coffee, if you have a passion to make coffee and how it's made and the procedure and the delicacies of everything, you're going to love this. If not, then this might just be your better choice. There is no aroma here. Freeze-dried coffee or spray-dried coffee, in both methods, they claim that if you freeze-dry coffee, which it is, premium instant coffees are all freeze-dried. We'll talk about that in another video, what freeze-drying is and what spray-drying is. But this is freeze-dried, which is supposedly better. And they claim that this maintains a lot of the aromas and it maintains a lot of the taste, but there is no smell here. Over here in this cup, you can taste the coffee, you can taste the coffee beans. If you open this bag and you smell this, there is a smell, there is an aroma of coffee beans, of freshly roasted coffee beans. You can smell that here, but you cannot smell anything over here. This has aroma. I mean, when you're going to make that coffee in the morning from freshly brewed beans, the whole house is going to be filled with, that will be immediately recognized by people working in a cafe or people who go to cafes every morning. Okay, how is the taste different? The taste is naturally and obviously going to be different. But how different? Is it miles apart, or is it this much apart or this much apart? One thing is for sure, if you are a coffee person and you are into the delicacies and details of coffee, then you will know what a Colombian coffee tastes like. Colombian coffee has a typical fruitiness. In the whole world, there is a specific taste of Colombian coffee. Obviously, when you go to single origin, the taste is different, and if you go to a single estate coffee, the taste is going to be different. But nevertheless, a cup of coffee made from Colombian coffee is going to taste different than Ethiopian coffee, from Sidamo coffee. So you can tell that this taste is different. That's at least what you can do. You can tell that this is different, and you can tell that there's there's a certain citrusy taste in it. You can tell that. You can definitely tell that. But other than that, there is a bitterness which is present in all freeze-dried coffees. In this cup, you can tell how the beans were roasted. Were they roasted? Were they roasted to second crack? Which these weren't. This is a medium to light roast. It is not as acidic as this one. This is mellowed down. That could also be because of the way I brewed it. There is almost negligible bitterness in this cup. A lot of people say that that instant coffee is just a snapshot of coffee. Sadly, that's true. Although this is better than most instant coffees out there, but the difference between this and this is still miles. It might be less miles, but it's still miles. You need to be a good taster to taste the flavors in this coffee. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the debatable idea that which one is healthier. Most of the research available online say that this cup has almost the same amount of antioxidants and the nutrients as this one. They say that they have almost the same amount of nutrients. But that's research and that's on paper. I'm sitting here with these two cups in my hands, and I'm going to give you a first-hand experience. That's what YouTube is about. So the day I drink this as daily routine, because I'm unable to get this and I drink this, I feel jittery. I feel a certain amount of palpitation. I don't feel that with freshly brewed coffee, but I do feel that with this. And secondly, when it comes to freeze drying, it is beneficial for coffee companies to get the most out of their coffee bean, right? When we are brewing ourselves, our first priority is taste. So we extract about 12 to 15% of whatever is soluble in a bean. That's about all we do. But over here, they try to extract the most amount of soluble matter in a bean. It's obviously they're looking at their bottom lines. They'd be idiots if they don't do that. It's going to be different. This is processed coffee. This is natural coffee. Processed usually has a different health effect on you than a natural coffee. So I'm a happy man if I drink this all day. But if I drink this all day, I can't sleep at night without a sleeping pill. That is also because of the fact that this contains more caffeine per gram as compared to this one, because our extraction is different. You could argue that our extraction times and whatever we are extracting out of our coffee, the soluble materials that we are extracting out of coffee beans in this method is in our control. If we let it brew for 30 minutes, it's going to taste and it's going to feel and it's going to have a very different effect on our body. It could be similar to instant coffee. But that's just me. So most importantly, I would love to know your opinions. What did you think about this test? Did I miss out something? Was I talking gibberish and it was not understandable by any of you? Do let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. These are, at the end of the day, just my opinions. If you don't agree with my comparison, if you don't agree with what I just said, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. For now, I would like to say thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.